Say hello to the Acer Predator XB321HK. With a response time of 4 milliseconds and a brightness of 350 CD over M2, a contrast ratio of 100 million to the ratio of 1, and 60 Hz refresh rate standard, overclockable to 120 Hz. This screen will not leave you short of a powerful gaming experience. But how will it perform? Well, we're going to stress test it, so let's find out. So we've got a glorious, lovely screen that Acer's made, Acer Predator screen, great for gaming and everything like that. As you can see, I've got a nice little wallpaper. The wallpaper is only 10K, not 4K. 10K? It's only 1080p resolution, but it's actually fits on there nice. Anyway, so let's talk about specs. The specs are 16:9 ratio or aspect ratio of the screen. The maximum resolution is 3840 by 2160, just shy of 4K or true 4K, which is 4096 by 2160. The screen comes with 4 USB ports, which are up to 5 gigabits per second, an upstream port, a display port, a HDMI port, and obviously you get your normal cables and a power brick, and it's a kettle lead that plugs into the back. This screen can also be overclocked as well by 60 Hz, but 30 Hz only if you're using HDMI. But if you're using the display port, you can overclock it a little bit more and get an extra 30 Hz from the display port, because the display port runs much more efficient, more thicker, and more data can go through the cable for 4K. And this screen is also energy efficient at 56 watts as well, so it's got a great star rating. You can also toggle around with the controls down the bottom and also make it very energy efficient if you choose so. But if you're gaming, you want to see the optimized graphics and you don't want to see any tearing or anything like that, this screen also comes with G-Sync as well. So if you've got an NVIDIA graphics card that has G-Sync that can be opened up in the graphics panel on the screen, you can definitely use that, and that stops the tearing. If you're using a graphics card, say like a 1060 or a 960 or something like that, then you're gaming and the game is slightly a bit more high performance, or it needs more graphics performance, it will stop that tearing. It will actually run at its optimized speed, because that's what it's there for. You can definitely use this screen as well for video production. The color ratio that I'm looking at right now is quite true to color. It's really quite cool, and you've got more of a bigger screen as well for using After Effects or Premiere Pro. Okay, so let's get on with the stress test, and we've got two games. We've got two old school sort of games, not too old school, Far Cry 3 and Tomb Raider. And the reason I chose them games, they still need graphics to run at a really high level, but obviously if you're going to get this screen, you're going to have newer games, maybe old school games, but I'm going to show you at a bottom level, so when you get the monitor you could be like, oh wow, it's even more powerful than what I thought it was. Restart required. Not going to do that though, so let's do a stress test of these games right now. So as you can hear, you've got speakers. The speakers are not brilliant or anything like that. They're just a little guidance right there for the monitor. But they're there. They're cool. But anyway, so we've done a little frames per second with Tomb Raider, and we were looking at 59 frames per second. I couldn't really do too much with using fraps, because then I thought it's more of a graphics card that I'll be bench testing rather than the actual game and the screen, but just showing if there's any tearing in the screen, that's what it was running at. But it's also running at 1080p, because the game capture card that I've got doesn't run at 4K, so you're only looking at 1080p. But I've already looked at 4K. It is absolutely stunning, it's beautiful, there's no tearing, no juddering, no nothing. It is really, really quite clean. Go. What I like about is the controls down there. You can easily overclock just by pressing one of these buttons down here, and you've got game mode on, and then you can go to game 1, 2 and 3, and it's kind of like a quick overclock straight into the screen. And the buttons are not exactly the easiest sort of buttons to use, but it's not too hard. You can get used to it quite easily when you've been playing around with it for a bit. And there is other menus as well, which I'm going to get into. So when you first get the screen, and if you've got, it will automatically be on DisplayPort rather than HDMI. So if you've got HDMI support, you're going to have to go to this function here, which is the left button, and you scroll down to your finger and go to input, and then you just drop it down from DP to HDMI, and then you just go back out of the menu, and then you've got other things like brightness, Acer color management, contrast, blue light, which means it gives it a bit more of a vibrance, backlit light that's coming out through the screen. And then you've got dark boost, and it's just making the darker colours, the black, shine out through more with the light to give it a bit more of a dynamic range. Obviously all your picture settings are in there as well, and you've got your colour gamma, colour temp, sRGB mode, saturate, and 6-axis mode, which is just loads of actual functionality to this actual screen itself. You've got OSD, which you can overclock your actual monitor as well a little bit more, and you can mess around with the settings, and it moves really quickly for me to even do anything. And then you've got transparency, so you can have like the background with a transparency, so you can have it so it fades but you can still see what's going on in the background. And then you've got different settings, and then you've got your overclock as well, where you can go extreme, normal, or not just normal, and that's when you connect it to G-Sync. Then that's where you can go into your settings as well and find where you can do your power saving and stuff like that. And this screen does deep sleep mode, and you can have got your power LED and all that sort of stuff. So basically deep sleep mode means that you can normally program it from your computer or a laptop, but you can definitely program it from the screen as well. So it means it's more power efficient, or if you want to have more color depth, more graphics, and you want to use a bit more electricity voltage going through it, then obviously you're going to go for the more extreme levels. So you can definitely use this for video editing and gaming and all that sort of stuff, and it's really quite a sick monitor. It's absolutely huge, there's no doubt about it, and it weighs a ton. But the actual stand, you want to make sure that you've got a big enough table, because it takes up a lot. This table that I'm using is 1.20 m, and like the whole screen's taken up, and the whole stand's taking up the whole table. Just make sure you've got enough room anyway if you're interested in this screen. Anyway, link in the description down below where you can buy this screen, and there's nothing more to say about it other than it's a wonderful screen. Definitely get it. There's nothing really that I would say that I don't like about it. The screen's thicker than normal. It's about 1 centimetre to 2 centimetres in thickness around the bezel. The bezel's not really much to complain about because it's not really thick or anything like that, but it's thick on the sides because it's quite a big heavy screen, and it's made sure that it's all intact and it's great, you know. It's really heavy, I'm not even lying, it's a really heavy screen. One thing I don't like is the navigation of buttons. It moves so quickly, there's so many settings on there. But if you're someone that's a colorist to do with video editing or anything like that, or game developer, this screen is going to be for you because you've got loads of functionality. If you get confused of how many different functions there are, this screen is not for you. But other than that, it's really sick screen, and there's nothing else I can say about it other than, oh yeah, one thing I forgot to say. It does that. So it goes 120 up and down. So if you're short, you're gonna have a stiff neck, and technically you won't with this screen because it can go down. And it also has a swivel of 30 degrees, so 5 degrees going in, and then 25 going up, and then in the middle it's perfect. So I'm going to pull the screen down now. Oh, there we go, and that's a perfect screen right there. So you got, oh yeah, one thing else as well. It's got a Vaser mount, so you can't swivel to the left or the right. You can only go up 120 and down 120, and obviously swivel. That's all you can do. But anyway, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you dislike it, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you got this screen. Tell me what you thought about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.